welcome back to my channel, and I'm with Abby today. If you don't know, we went on a cross-country road trip this summer and we went all around America, and if you haven't seen the video yet,
you should definitely watch it.
Yeah, I'll link it down below, but I made a video about our trip. So today we are just going to talk about like the logistics of our trip, how much we spent, where we went, how long things took, and just like some tips and tricks that we learned along the way. Also how to do this on a budget, because we were definitely trying to be on a budget during this trip.
We're from Pennsylvania.
Yes.
So we started in Pennsylvania. We wanted to aim for around a month. We wanted it to be a little bit longer. Our parents didn't really want it to be longer than a month.
Our goal was to see like all of the West Coast and just the West in general. We ended up going to a total of 19 states, 6 cities, and 13 national parks, all in 1 month.
Crazy, like we were on the move.
Yeah, we're gonna break it down.
Yeah.
We camped, we did hotels, we stayed in Airbnbs, we tried hostels, we also slept in a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, we had to, you know. Camping was probably like the cheapest option, but it was honestly like the most kind of tricky for a couple of reasons.
In the national parks, we wanted to camp in the national parks, and I thought it was gonna be pretty cheap, but it was $30 a night, which you can find an Airbnb for that same price, and you can have a shower and, you know, a nice
and this
bed.
is a tent campsite.
Yeah, on average in the national parks, it's gonna be $30.
Right.
And we went in the summer in July, and this is a very, very peak time for national parks.
Yeah.
We would get up at 6 a.m., be at the national park at 7 a.m. waiting in line to get a campsite, and there would be none. Like, they would run out that early in the morning. We got there at 7 a.m. and got the last campsite.
Like we had to be sent to other campsites because like the main one was full.
And these camping RV families are vicious, okay?
They're crazy.
Like,
they will like cut your throat trying to get a campsite for you.
Like if you're there before them and you get the last site, like you better watch out. There were these
RVs everywhere,
and it was like road trip across America.
And like they're the rental ones, and they were just crazy, like crazy camping families. I mean, it is beautiful in the national parks, don't be wrong, and it's like an experience, like you definitely should.
We ended up having no problem getting one in like the less popular ones, like Badlands. We got a campsite in Yosemite. Yeah. But we had to get there at 7 a.m. There's more camping than just the national parks. So there are some free campsites. When we were in Badlands, there's a campground called Sage Creek Campground. It's literally in the freaking middle
of nowhere.
There's a lot of random campgrounds when you're just driving. You just drive up, put your money in the box, camp.
We stayed in a campsite in California in the Redwood. Just some random one we pulled up on Google, and we ended up going. It was easy. Like there was
you just
spots.
put the extra $10 in the deposit box. I mean, I don't even know how often they check them.
Yeah,
it would probably get away, but like don't do that. Yeah, it's for the parks. Okay.
Yes.
Pay your deposit.
Right.
So we usually like would stay in random hotels some nights where we just like wanted a shower and maybe Wi-Fi and you know that kind of stuff.
Just a little bit of luxury, even though we stayed at really sketchy, like Super Sixes.
The hotel was like $60 a night, but we are splitting everything between 2 people. So it would be like 30 a person. Airbnbs, they had some cool ones. We stayed in some off-the-grid ones.
Yeah, awesome Airbnb experiences. We stayed in like the Grand Canyon, but like before you got into the Grand Canyon, it was like this huge just field of like nothing, and this guy had like a tent set up. It was like so peaceful, and like you watch the sunset. Oh, so pretty.
Yeah, and in Montana, we stayed with this nice couple named Donna and David, and they had this off-the-grid place in Montana, and it was beautiful. And
they were so nice. And they invited us to like a picnic, like they had with their fellow Airbnb people. Like they were so friendly. Like we were go, so we didn't have time.
And it was like $15.
Yeah, it was so cheap. So awesome.
Airbnbs, highly recommend.
Yeah, hostels. We also stayed at a couple hostels.
They're mostly in the cities, so we stayed in one in Seattle.
That was actually through Airbnb though. It was like an Airbnb style hostel, so you can look out for that on Airbnb as well.
Right. I guess the only real hostel in Utah was called Lazy Lizard. Cool. So if you're going to Arches National Park, then you should stay there because it was like $7, and there's some interesting people there. So yeah. So like we mentioned, we kind of had to stay in a Walmart parking lot one night. Some days you just drive and drive and drive, and then it's dark, and then you have nowhere to stay. So I remember one night we were in Colorado, and every single hotel was full, and then we pulled into this Walmart and we saw so many campers and people sleeping in their cars in this Walmart.
So we had to do it. We just pulled in, put some blankets over the window, and just, you know, had a rough night.
Yeah. It did save us some money.
Right. That's right.
Transportation.
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so what car did we take? We started out with a couple of options.
Yeah.
So our first option, we were actually thinking about like getting an RV, renting one, or like literally just buying one and then selling it after. But we realized we didn't have the money for that, so we threw that out. Well, since we were planning on camping, we thought about taking a truck. Our parents thought it'd be safer if we got a truck, and if we got an accident, you know, it'd just be safer. But we were like, no, that's gonna be so much gas.
Yeah.
So we ended up taking a tiny Chevy Cruze.
Yes, my brother. Thanks, Drew. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to her brother for letting us put 10,000 miles on your car. We packed everything.
It was a good decision though to take that. It was probably the best decision. Yes. In total, we spent $933.62 in gas, divided by 2. Around $450 a person, so
yeah. So for the entire month, we literally drove 10,000 miles,
and we spent that much in gas. Yeah. And it's just more expensive on the West Coast for gas, and like in the in Midwest.
LA.
Yeah, Midwest it's like so cheap. So just keep in mind that.
We ended up driving, I would say average like 6 hours a day.
Yeah.
There were days where we didn't drive that much, but there are also days where we drove the entire day. Like literally all day when we were in the middle of nowhere.
Lots of driving.
So much driving. There are stretches where you go insane.
Yeah.
So for clothes, we definitely overpacked.
Yes.
I did not bring warm clothes because it was July. We were going to the West Coast, and in my mind,
it would be warm.
It was gonna be hot.
It is cold up in the mountains. Like if you're going to the Northwest or just anywhere in the North section of America, it's gonna be cold in July. So you definitely want to do camping. Make sure you pack for camping, and that way you can be comfortable when you sleep. Like I said, you need good sleep on this trip because gotta have that rest.
And you don't need that many cute outfits. So we brought a tent. Obviously, you do not need a giant tent. So we got this nice tent. It said it was for 6 people.
We were like, we're gonna have a spacious tent, lots of room, like comfortable. No.
First campground we went to, everybody's in these tiny little tents that barely fits one person, and it's really small. And ours is huge. We brought ours out, and it was like a freaking mansion. It was just the 2 of us. So we ended up throwing away
the tent.
We threw away the tent in
a Walmart parking lot, and we had to get a small tent.
Shoved it in. We went up and asked the man, and we were like, can we like throw this tent away for us? And he was like, you can try to shove it in that trash can over there.
And that's what we did.
Yeah, so we did. And then we bought a really small, like $20 2-person tent from Walmart. That's all you need. You don't need a fancy tent. It's literally just to sleep. So we brought blankets, pillows. We brought a cooler for drinks and food. Yeah. And we also brought a big tub of snacks.
Definitely bring a sleeping bag though, that's warm like we said.
Don't bring the sleeping bag that you used at your childhood sleepovers.
We also brought a Coleman grill with like a little propane. Like a little grill. It did good. Like we made eggs in the morning, oatmeal. We brought like a lantern, flashlights, bear spray because we were doing a lot of hiking.
Yes, if you're going hiking,
bring the bear spray.
We
had maps of every state that I got from AAA just in case. We actually use the maps sometimes because we didn't have service, or at least when you go to the park, get a map from the front office. Like you definitely need that.
Definitely. 3 things we did was hiking. Our main goal of this trip was to go to national parks and go hiking and see nature and landscape.
You have to. America's beautiful, and you need to you don't realize like how crazy the landscape changes, and like just to see that, it was just like amazing, and it's all free.
The cities, we literally just walked around, so that was free.
We saw like the touristy things like Hollywood Walk of Fame, Seattle, Space Needle, Chicago, The Bean. Just like everything that like if you've never seen it before, you have to see.
We had a beach day in Santa Cruz, and we had a beach day in Malibu. So
and the boardwalk's free with like, just to like walk around. We did pay for some excursions, which we like tried to pick one thing like per city we were in. Like
in Chicago, we did a boat tour. In San Francisco, we did like a sailboat cruise. And then in LA, we went to a Dodgers game. That was fun. And in Vegas, we went to the Stratosphere and we did all the rides there, which I highly recommend. It was so fun.
Some added costs that we like had for the trip, like I mentioned before, the national parks, there's obviously an entry fee to get in, but the smart thing to do if you're planning on going to a lot is getting the national park pass, which is $80.
Yeah, and it lasts for a year, so
2 years I think, or like a year and a half.
It's so worth it because to get into one park it's like $30. So if you go to 3 parks, like you're already saving money if you
definitely get the national park pass. We had to get our oil changed once because they say like every 5,000 miles get your oil changed. That was like around like $50. It was just like a little expense.
And then in cities we ended up having to pay for parking. Like in San Francisco we spent $30, and in LA we had to spend $50 for parking. So
definitely. And then there wasn't many tolls.
Like, they'd be like 50 cents, not many tolls. So first tip is always have a full gas tank, because there are times where you drive for miles, like in Kansas, we drove for like 200 miles and
There's no gas stations.
Yes.
Like, you don't want to run out of gas. Next would be to get an Airbnb that has parking, like especially like by the cities. So like in Chicago, we stayed a little bit outside of the city. One, it was cheaper. Two, it had free parking. And then just get it to where you can walk into the city or get it to where it's close to public transportation. LA was $50 to park. You try to want to avoid that, which is hard in LA, obviously.
So for food, buy food at grocery stores.
Definitely.
We stopped at like Walmart Supercenter. We just got stuff to like make peanut butter and jelly, or just like ham and cheese sandwiches. So we got cans of soup. $1.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Non-perishable. You can just throw them in the car.
We brought granola bars. We're gonna eat oatmeal for breakfast.
Just bring a bunch of stuff like that. Definitely buy food at grocery stores. Saves you money.
Yeah, and when you're like camping in the national parks, it's good to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then spend money on like good meals when you're in cities.
Yeah. Chicago deep dish pizza.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh my gosh.
Definitely don't spend your money at like Subway. Just eat a peanut butter and jelly. It'll save you money.
Definitely.
So.
Alright, so another thing that we like realized, you have no service. So we ended up listening to the same song over and over.
I have lots of music downloaded.
Yes.
You lose service and then have no music. Yeah,
and like kind of
passenger
plan.
is the designated navigator.
Yes, and planner. Like they look around like what's to do around the area. Like Google Maps on Apple Maps. Comment down.
We thought that we'd end up driving at night a lot more, but it's just really not a good idea when you're in the middle of nowhere in an unfamiliar place.
Yeah, definitely don't drive at night. Like try to avoid that at all costs. We ended up staying at a few sketchy hotels. So just be like cautious, obviously, if you're girls traveling. Just like be careful, because you just never know in an unfamiliar area.
You could get pulled over.
It's bound to happen.
When you're speeding. He didn't give us a ticket though.
She knows what's up with this one. Me, on the other hand, I'm not a morning person.
You need to get up early.
Yes,
Morning
you do.
is the time to drive.
And if you have a time,
earlier the better. At all the national parks, the trails are gonna be way less crowded in the morning. It's gonna be less hot.
If you drive early in the morning, it goes by so much faster. You kind of just have to pick and choose like where you really want to go if you are on a time limit and a budget, like we were. When
you're driving, don't just try to get from point A to point B, okay?
Yeah,
like take
it's no fun.
Route. I'm gonna insert pictures of like our exact route, and then also I know that some people were asking about the exact costs. So I'm gonna insert a chart, because we kept tally of everything that we spent, and then I'll insert the exact amount of money that we spent to do this trip.
Definitely do it though. It was like an amazing thing.
Yeah,
like I said, America's beautiful. It has so much to see.
Just pack up your car, go.
Just
quit
go.
your job. Don't wait. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Vegas is awesome.
Vegas is a good time. Yeah, I hope this answered all your questions. If you had any
road trip video.
Yes, go watch it.
Go watch it right now.
So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.
Yeah.